Welcome to the Make Life Your Bitch podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Alysia. Greatness is a decision and your birthright. You deserve to love the woman looking back at you in the mirror. This show is for the purpose-driven female entrepreneur who is committed to only counting the time she gets back up. The woman who is ready to ignite the flame within, find her voice, and use the power of her story to transform the lives of those around her. This is your weekly fuel to inspire you to action, where I'll be sharing inspirational stories, real talks with thought leaders and successful entrepreneurs from around the world, and provide you with actionable success strategies for creating a business you love. I'm a content marketing coach, and I'm committed to helping you as an online creator and entrepreneur wherever you are to turn your dreams into a reality, to help you transform your messaging so you can create a genuine connection with your audience and grow your income online. You are far more powerful and stronger than you will ever imagine. We are the warriors. You were born for this. Let's make life your bitch. Hello, and welcome to the Make Life Your Bitch podcast. I am your host, Brittany Alysia, and today is a Minisode. I'm going to do my best to keep this one short. One of the really cool things is I always watch the insights and the analytics on the calls, the episodes that we do. And one of the things that I really notice is that you are all about, and you guys love the manifestation and the abundance and the portal. The portal was one of our biggest downloaded episodes. And so that's something that I've really noticed. And I know there's some of you out there who are listening and you're like, but Brittany, don't let go of the business stuff. And so I really just want to touch on, before I go into what today's portal is all about, is that I want you to know what it is that I do and I help my clients with is really connecting with trusting themselves to make really aligned moves in their business. And so that's why I love to talk about manifestation and the connection to energy, is because I truly believe that we must first connect to our own energy. Otherwise, we get too caught up in trying to be like everybody else out there. And so I really work with my clients to block out the noise, connect with their own energy, and be able to make the aligned moves moving forward. And so because of that, I want you to keep your eyes out, because for Black Friday, if you saw, we dropped the very first offer today, which is the secret offer. And I absolutely love doing secret offers. And so I'll make sure I put it in the show notes here. But I want you to keep your eyes out, because we have another one coming up that will be private support. And the reason I bring that up is because that private support is going to be a 30-minute call where you are going to be able to connect, and we're going to talk about new beginnings. And that is what the 11-22-22 is all about. And here's the thing. I've looked and I'm like, what is everybody else saying out there? What are they saying about a portal and energy? And I haven't found anything other than maybe someone else coming up with their own stuff on social media. But, even just through Googling, I'm like, is there anything and anyone talking about this out there? And I really haven't found anything. Everyone talked about the 11-11-22, but with 11-22-22, there is some powerful energy coming, and it's already surrounding us. And 11 and 22 by themselves, angel number wise, are all about new beginnings. And same if you connect with numerology, right? There's 9 numbers in numerology. Those are the core ones. Then there's 11, 22, 33. But ones are all about new beginnings. And 2, it touches on family a little bit and love. And so with this energetic portal that's happening right now, it's really all about new beginnings. And what I absolutely love about this is your permission that you don't have to wait until January 1st in order to start moving forward in your business. Because I see so many people doing like a 2023 planning party. And, it's almost like they're saying like, get started in your business in January. And I'm not about that at all. I think it's so important that the sooner you look at like a new beginning today, the like more that's coming in. Because the thing is like at Christmas time, people buy like crazy. And a few years ago, I had a coach tell me, nobody buys at Christmas time, wait until the new year. And so I didn't put any offers out at Christmas. And I thought, that's what I was told. And the other people in the container that I was in who went against that and made that decision were making like over 6 figures that month alone. And I was like, what? Like, why did I follow that? And when I started off my journey of, jumping all in with my business in 2020, it was in December that like things kicked off. That was when I first started getting like, my momentum to hitting 6 figures in 2021. I didn't wait till January, It was like I started in December and I had a plan and I made a commitment, every single day, here's my specific things that I'm going to do. And, I'm going to continue to work towards those. And you know what? If at the end of the year, I can eliminate things, then that's fine. And so what ends up happening with that kind of thing is like, if we start now, if we utilize the energy of new beginnings today, what it's going to allow you to do is to really start creating that plan. So for example, for myself, I have a road to 50K months, Asana calendar that I've created for myself. That is like, this is what I'm doing. I am making sure that everything on here I am doing every single day. So that way I make sure that I am bringing in money every single day, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about with you when you sign up for that private call, all about new beginnings. And we're going to take a look at your business and what you can start doing now versus waiting till January 1st, right? We're going to start the new beginnings right now. And so, you know what? I'm going to drop the link in the description here. I'll put it out on my socials today. It's going to be, and here's the other thing is when it comes to Black Friday, like there's so many people out there who they just kind of throw out the same offers or, they do pre-sales, but it really, the money, the finances don't change. And so that's not the way I do things. When I do things in my business, if it is Black Friday, these are going to be the best deals that you see all year. And usually I do some around my birthday. But these are the best deals you will see all year. And so that new beginnings call is going to be $33, right? It's 30 minutes. We're going to do it for $33 and we're going to be able to sit down and just like take a look at your business and see what we need to shift, adjust to make sure that you're moving forward. And so that's the 11 and the 22. But there's actually something else that's really cool that's happening right now. And that is that there is a new moon starting on November 23rd. So it's like this compilation of days of energy all about new beginnings. And so if you know anything about myself and what I share with my clients is that, oracle cards, tarot cards, crystals, using the moon energy, all of that is fabulous. But I believe that it's using those energies in conjunction with your own energy, right? If you don't have your energy in alignment and the self-trust, how are you supposed to trust anything else? I've been guilty of going over and like pulling out one of like my crystals and being so in alignment with it and being like, this is the crystal that like I feel aligned with, but then I don't actually do anything about it because I'm not internally aligned. So it's like there's this clash and I'm just like looking to these outside energies to make me feel whole, which we need to feel whole all on our own. And then we use all these energies to amplify it. And of course, you can use those energies to help direct you on that path as to like, okay, like, you know, you can ask them like, what do I need to be aligned right now? You know, you can feel into your own body, the chakras. That's something I go into in the abundance codes. You know, keep an eye out for that. There's a manifestation bundle coming like up in the Black Friday offers. I'm going to keep doing them until Sunday, and then you'll have until Tuesday to, you know, jump all in on them. So the links will all be available until Tuesday. But, you know, it's really connecting with your new beginnings. And so how I like to do this is number one. So in the abundance codes, I teach my clients how to remove money blocks, and dimensions. The manifestation sequence is all about first connecting with your own energy, the universal energy, and creating routines and stuff and rituals and all that. Are you ready to dive deeper into understanding the fifth dimension, how to quantum leap, and how to utilize the compound effect? These concepts are super trendy right now, but as someone who has experienced trauma and may still like a little bit of control, trusting blindly can be very difficult for me until I understood how it all works. Even I didn't know how I manifested my dream vehicle, home, man, my baby girl, and hitting 6 figures, but now I do. Every program I have ever taken on manifestation told me to feel energy and trust. I tried everything from being positive, gratitude lists, connecting with crystals, clearing my chakras, and following the moon cycles. I needed more than just to trust. I needed to know how and why. This is your warning sign, though, that once you do learn this, you'll never look at energy and manifestation the same again. Dimensions is a 3-day intensive where you will become equipped with the manifestation sequence. We will deep dive into how it works, how to stay in the vibe, and manifest your dream life, all for only $333. Join now by heading to the description for the link. What I like to do is if you are, you know, familiar with the chakras, is I ask my body, like, where is it that I am blocked? And what I like to do is I like to play that tape from start to finish, and I just ask, you know, where did this come from? Because I am a firm believer in emotions is energy in motion, right? And so if you sit there and you read a book like The Secret or whatever, you know, that book is great. The movie is great. But the mistake that so many people make is that they get too caught up in the aspect of, I'm not allowed to think negative. I have to think positive. And so when you have a negative thought, all of a sudden you're trying to like get rid of it super quick, and you end up storing that inside your body, right? Because energy has to flow. And it's not saying go down the rabbit hole, but it's observing the thought and creating awareness, like, oh, I see you, but let me continue to like move this along through my body, and I'm not going to be affected by this, versus being like, oh, no, like I can't think this. I need to think something positive, right? And so that's something that we're going to talk about in the new beginnings. And we'll also go into that in dimensions, and in any of the like, you know, energetic work. Oh my goodness. Energetic work that I talked to about, because that is like so important, is that we are very connected to our energy. And so if you go through and you first listen to your body and ask like what's going on, one of the mistakes I've made in the past is that people are like, go remove the money blocks. I'm like, okay, I know how to do that. And I never put anything in that place. And so it's almost like you have this like empty hole now, where it's like the universal energy is like, you know, whether it's negative or positive, it's like nobody knows what's fucking going in there until like it goes in there, right? And so if we can fill that space with light, what I would like encourage you to do is to, you know, if you're someone who likes to meditate, if you're someone who likes to bring out the crystals, whatever it is, what I like to do is first sage my area, right? Clear out any negative energies, anything like that, any imbalances. The next thing that I do is I have candles. And so it depends on what I'm focusing on as to what color of candle that I use. But I use a black candle for grounding and the white candle for purity and for like the new beginnings piece. I might use a candle that is green if it's focused on finances. I might focus on a candle that is purple if it's something spiritual that I'm working with. It's just whatever I feel aligned with. And then the other thing I do is I like pull out some crystals that feel aligned. And then from there, I decide what it is I want. And so I might do a meditation on that and connect with, what is it that my desires are. If that's the case, I will often just do a silent meditation, which means I don't go in there with any thoughts or anything or visualizations. I just connect with what flows through me and what comes up for me. And then after I'm done that, I actually sit down, or I've probably been sitting the whole time, and I will write out what I desire in the next 28 days or so. Like in the next moon cycle, we revisit that at the full moon. But it's like I sit down and I identify like what is it that I desire and what is it that I'm focusing on in this cycle. And so I don't sit down and like look at like all of the things I want in life. It's like I choose like one or two things that I'm focusing on for this moon cycle, right? And for me, that's where like my manifestation really comes in energetically. It's because I have like a single thing that I'm focusing on for the cycle itself. The next thing I do is once I write that all down is I then do a meditation focused on visualizing it already happening. And I will meditate on that like every single day or every other day, because the more that you call that energy in, like I believe that a visualization that you have is just like something in your imagination that is on its way to you, right? Like every single thought that we have is a possibility. Every single invention that has ever been created first started with a thought. So anything that you think is possible for you to actually bring to your reality, right? That's why it's presented with you that it's a possibility, that it's a thought, and you are now connecting with that. Like I talk about the fifth dimension, you're starting to connect with that. And so when you can begin connecting with that dimension every single day and hanging out and like, this is what I'm visualizing, this is what the joy is going to feel like, the bliss, all the excitement, that's when we actually allow ourselves to like call that energy in faster. And so it's super clear that we have clarity. Some of my clients struggle with that. They're like, Brittany, it's like I struggle with clarity because I sit down for a visualization and then I sit down again and like it's different. And, I might be going through a visualization and I start questioning it. I've been guilty of that, where it's like I sit down and I'm like, halfway through the visualization, I'm like, well, that's not the house that I want, or that's not the fridge that I want, or that's not the clients I want. And so that's why it's important to like take these stepping stones to being really clear on what it is. It's like just this one thing. And it doesn't mean that the other things, like the big dreams that you have, aren't coming, but it's like this is your stepping stone in order for that to come to you. And so I really focus on, and I talked about this in the last episode, about the three things, like the physiology, the tone of the voice, and the words that I use. And I ensure that all three of those are something that I use in my daily practices to continue to bring energy in and to stay in that high vibe. Because like, let's face it, like people are assholes out there, and it's very easy for somebody else's energy to affect us, which is why we need to develop that self-trust, that alignment, that like boundary for ourselves. So I do I write it out, what it is I desire for this new moon, for this cycle. And then I go in and visualize it. And I can connect with the different crystals that I have. Sometimes what I'll do now that I know what it is, I will actually go and put them outside because it's a new moon. I'll go and I'll put them so that they can be cleared. Another thing I'll do is I will put water out. So sometimes what I'll actually do is instead of putting the crystal out, I will actually cleanse it first, put my energy into it, and then put that one on the windowsill, not for the sake of releasing the energy, but in amping up the clarity for my own self. And I know everybody has their own beliefs as to how everything works, but I'm telling you what works for me. And that's one of the really cool things about the manifestation sequence is that it all comes back to, like I said, it comes back to trusting yourself. It comes back to connecting with your own energy, connecting with the universe, and then making the aligned moves based on what you want to use to amplify your energy. And it comes back to the beliefs. And, of course, there's stones that have and crystals that have different properties that are going to help you with that. It's important to, check that out. But sometimes we're drawn to a crystal that maybe I was drawn to, a crystal that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with business or money or anything like that. And I'm like, why am I drawn to this? And maybe it's simply because I need that grounding for myself in order to make that happen, right? So you might be drawn to a crystal based on what you desire that doesn't even really make sense in the beginning, but it's the trust, right? It's trusting that energy that you know what you want. And, when you create that awareness in your life and you become very aware and open to, trusting what else is out there, what is coming in, that you can actually align with that. And it's like, okay, that's what I'm drawn to right now. Okay. There's a reason for this. I was talking to my client yesterday, and I said to her, I felt a misalignment with a client that I was working with. And I said, it happened in a group container where it felt misaligned. And I said, if I'm wanting hundreds of people in my group coaching, I need to learn how to navigate through a client, maybe treating another client differently or another client talking over me. I need to figure out and create that boundary for myself now versus it happening with hundreds of people in there, right? And so being okay with why did this happen? And maybe it's a question of well, why don't I have hundreds of people in there yet? And it's because the universe, and if we have this awareness, it's setting you up for those things. And so, like I said, I do the new beginnings. I put the crystals out. I do the meditations because that is what is aligned with me. And then those are the things that I use with my I am statements, with my, because I have said to you, I write a letter to myself. And so I connect with that as well. And so it's, really connecting with what is the goal? And so I want you to focus on using today's energy. And also there will be energy from the new moon for the next couple days. It's obviously the actual new moon. I think it's around 5:54, I think, Eastern Standard Time on the 23rd, something like that. So really connecting with that moon energy for the new beginnings. And so it's you have a few days to really get clear on what it is that you desire. And I'm going to drop the link so that this week we can use that energy and really, create those new beginnings for yourself. I'm opening up my calendar so that on Thursday, it's going to be completely open so that, depending on how many of you actually jump into this, I can do these all day, right? So that I make sure that we actually are connecting with that energy. But it doesn't matter when you're listening to this, the best time to start is now, right? The best time to start is now, not in a month and some days, when it's January 1st. you get to start your year whenever you feel like, right? So that's what I want you to tap into today, is really focus on that energy of, what is it that I desire? Getting clarity on it, and then utilize this new moon and the energy of it to really tap into that as well. So that is all I have for today in this mini-sode, and I will connect with you all soon and go out there and make life your bitch. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Make Life Your Bitch podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please share it with your bestie. And if you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast player. If you have any questions, feedback, or compliments that you want to throw like confetti, you can reach me directly at podcast@makelifeyourbitch.co. Thanks for listening.